Welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast. At Healthy Steps Nutrition, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple, habit-based approach. We know that helping your clients become the best and healthiest versions of themselves isn't just about what they eat or coming to the gym a few hours a week. We, as gym owners and coaches, have to focus on a holistic approach, looking at support systems, stress management, sleep, mindset, lifestyle, and of course, exercise and nutrition. I'm your host, Nicole Coyne, registered dietitian and founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, CrossFit HSN, and HSN Mentoring. I'm also the author of The Basics of Nutrition Coaching, CrossFit Preferred Nutrition course. In this podcast, I'm going to teach you how to make one step at a time to becoming the best nutrition coach and building an awesome habit-based coaching program. Today's guest is Dr. Christina Migliara. She has been on this podcast a few times. We have worked super closely together over the past couple years to help get her message out about mental health. A little bit of background about her. She has her master's in mental health, also her doctorate in psychology. She has over 20 years of experience in private practice, as well as being a CrossFit affiliate owner. She has a unique lens because she combines the fitness aspect and the mental health aspect to help her clients become the best and healthiest versions of themselves. In this podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about the framework that she developed, the mental fit framework, and two pieces that I bet you haven't thought of before in relation to mental health and helping your clients be their true and most authentic selves. We will get to this podcast episode right after this awesome and exciting new message. We are so excited that May is Mental Health Month. It is also the month that we have released the Mental Fit and Mindset course. That's right, Dr. Christina Migliara and I have partnered together to release a course designed to help gym owners and coaches prioritize mental health for themselves and for their clients. Here is one quote that Sarah, a gym owner in Mississippi, said about the Mental Fit course. The Mental Fit course helped me to gain a deeper understanding of mental health and why it's so important and how it looks on a daily basis. I was stunned at the stats provided and never thought about the importance of normalizing mental health. After going through the course, I know why it's important for me as a gym owner and where to start to becoming a mental fit gym. Hint, it starts with me. And what steps I need to take. Sarah, we're so excited that you took that mental fit course, and we're so excited that more gym owners and coaches are taking this course as well to prioritize mental health for themselves, their staff, and their clients. If you're looking to learn more about mental health, please click the link in the show notes and sign up for the Mental Fit course today. It is made for gym owners, coaches, and people who are looking to get a deeper understanding of mental health. All right, let's get to this episode with Dr. Christina Migliara. Dr. Christina Migliara, welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast. So excited to chat with you today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be back.
This is your third time, I think, on the podcast. We have done a lot of work together over the past year and a half, and it's really all centered around your mission of helping to empower gym owners and coaches with the tools they need to address mental health inside of their gyms.
Absolutely. And it's been a fun year and a half. So thanks for working alongside me. We're having a good time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So much to talk about. So many updates we'll get to later in this podcast. I think it's important just to start with where we are at as a country, as a world with mental health, mental illness. Like, how would you define mental health, and what are some of the recent stats around mental health and mental illness that people, our listeners, should be aware of?
Great question. So I think it's really important to differentiate when we're talking about mental health is that we have that health side of things where we're talking about mental fitness, right? Being fit mentally and physically. And then, of course, there's the one side of health that I think people are a little bit more aware of, which is that illness side of things. And that talks a little bit more about what you hear maybe in the daily news or in some of the research or floating around on social media about where our health is mentally. And as a whole, I think that we are not necessarily trending in the right direction. We don't see those numbers going down. So we want to see rates of depression and suicide and anxiety heading in a downward way, but we're seeing those numbers increase, which tells me that we're not quite where we want to be. However, that being said, I do see that we are moving in the right direction in some ways, in the sense of we're talking about things more, we're normalizing the conversations around mental health, and we're talking about those solutions towards mental fitness, which is where we want to end up. And that's why I talk a lot about being mentally fit, because we don't want to continue to have conversations about problems. We want to start talking about potential solutions, right? And so when we hear that people are seeking help and we see the numbers going in the direction of things like, it's really difficult to actually find a provider these days, which in one hand, we think, oh my gosh, shortage of mental health providers, not a good thing. People need help. But in another way of looking at that is that people are seeking help. And so they are working on their mental health. And that's a really great thing.
Absolutely. I know stats that we were talking about last year, like an increase in about 20 to 25% in anxiety and depression. I mean, it is, if you're a gym owner, you have people that are struggling with this inside your facility. And whether you do or not, like, I think it's important that we all are equipped with the knowledge, the tools, so that we can help our clientele, help our members, help our community take the next step with whatever that might be for them.
Absolutely. And so I think what you're talking about is awareness, which is really important. Anxiety is the number one diagnosis that is, out there right now. A lot of people are struggling with anxiety. And so that just means that they're going to be walking through your doors, and to help empower gym owners to be prepared for, what that looks like. It's really key, and part of the mission that we've been on this last year and a half is to provide that knowledge, that insight, and that empowerment to feel comfortable and confident in delivering a service, and really helping our athletes and our members reach the full potential of fitness, right? And if we're not talking about mental health and mental fitness, then we're missing a key component to that optimal living, and we're missing that in our gyms. And so having those conversations and that awareness is going to be key.
Absolutely. What I started digging into 2 years, I guess, ago, as it was all of the information, all of the research around nutrition and mental health, and processed, ultra processed food, high sugar foods, like feeding mental illness. And then what are the things that are actually going to help support brain health, right? Omega-3s, whole foods, balance, which is something that a lot of our coaches, a lot of our listeners are already talking to their clients about. Eat more whole foods. Like, that's a core principle. Number one principle with healthy subs nutrition. The third one is limit the amount of added sugar, which fuels mental illness. So I think it's so important that, like, we need to be talking about this in order to help our clients live their best and healthiest life. You have spent a lot of time talking to gym owners, talking to coaches. We've done some different webinars. You most recently released the mental fit and mindset course, which we've gotten some really great feedback from. And I think I was just talking to one of the gym owners that took it yesterday, and they were talking about, what my biggest takeaway was: I need to be doing this stuff myself and practicing what I preach, and then start integrating this stuff into my coaching experience with my clients. And you created this mental fit framework. And I want to take a couple minutes to talk about two pieces of it, because there are two pieces that I think really stand out. We don't necessarily, they're not included in the Healthy Steps Nutrition Framework, but they are included in yours. It's this idea of nature therapy is one of them. Why is nature's therapy so important to mental health?
So, one, we are much more sedentary and indoors than we ever have been.
Right.
And being outdoors is just a part of who we've always been. And so it's no wonder why, when we step outside and we get some natural sunlight and that vitamin D, and we're, in nature itself and forest bathing, that we just feel this sense of relief, that grounding effect that we get from being in nature. And it has shown in the research to produce improved cognition and to reduce those feelings of being anxious and feeling depressed, and kind of reviving us a little bit. And so I think we are so focused on working, and we don't get enough of that. That's why a lot of people have that vitamin D deficiency when they go to the doctor. That's a very common thing that we hear. And so, yes, there is a huge part that we're going to get of that from the nutrients and the minerals and what we eat, especially if we're eating whole foods. But we also need to get that from being outside. And it helps us to feel human and alive again.
Absolutely. When you talk about nature therapy, you also talk about not having the distractions from phones and electronics and all of these things, which is something I personally struggle with, if I have to be honest. My confession here. Like, I like going and listening to my worship music in my middle of my break, but I do see a huge value in stepping away from it all and truly being and enjoying the nature therapy. Why do you tell people to step away from the electronics when they're going for their walks?
So I get that. I resonate with that too. It's so nice to have that alone time and just listen to some things and expand upon your knowledge. And it's not that we can't do that, but we really should make some time within the time that we do go outside into nature and give ourselves a little bit of that opportunity to disconnect completely. There's something to be said, and I think it's a very undervalued time, that we can actually combine two of the pieces in the framework, which is that quiet time along with nature. There's a lot of overlap in this framework, and we can't, discredit that and how impactful that can be. And being outside and being quiet with ourselves gives us that time to process, to reflect, and to frankly observe all that around us. And that grounding effect really creates some self-regulation in the mind and body. And that is key to helping us to sort of revive and revigorate a little bit. And that disconnection just has to happen.
I think it's interesting when you think about your feel, like most people don't take note of how they're feeling, right? But when you have the quiet time, you can actually take note of how you're feeling and how you're responding, and respond instead of react, and just kind of calm down a little bit, which is super helpful. So nature therapy, one of the things that we've been recommending to a lot of our clients is going for a walk after meals, like combining two of these things. Number one, going for a walk after meals helps with digestion, helps to with blood sugar regulation, helps with your energy levels. You already mentioned that. Mood. Like, could we not combine these things? And another side question for you. When you talk about nature therapy, does it matter if we're breaking, like going outside into different 15-minute segments, or are you recommending like, hey, it needs to be an hour long going for a walk?
So it doesn't have to be in one stint. In fact, I would highly recommend that we break it up over the course of our day. Sitting down and working behind a computer for hours on a day is just not good for us. And in fact, what we see is the reverse. If we can take breaks, especially when we find ourselves getting frustrated or having those mental blocks, going outside, having a 10, 15-minute walk, mental reset. We talk about a grounding example in the course that's really fun and helpful. You can go out and practice some of those. It's just a great mental reset to actually bring you back, and you'll be far more productive in the task or the project that you were, just working on, and you'll be thankful and glad that you did. So I recommend breaks throughout the day. And it's just a great way to end your day, just to get some fresh air and just sort of reflect and decompress from all the work you've done that day.
I love that. So nutrition coaches recommending that your clients go for a walk after meals could be a great way to kind of combine two things for optimal health physically, but then also mental health as well. You guys at TheraFit have a partnership with GoRuck. You're actually doing some like talk therapy while people are walking, which I feel like is kind of groundbreaking, right? Like, not a lot of therapists are doing this with their clients. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Yeah. So we have this great partnership with GoRuck. They make amazing gear, and it makes it so that we can take our clients on walks and talks and add a little bit of weight that we carry, which is quite symbolic to, the weight they've been carrying around mentally that feels super heavy. And a lot of that resonates with them for their journey. And so we do this side-by-side walking, which it creates a unification and shows that we're on this journey together, and that we're going to walk alongside them doing hard things. Two, it makes it so it's a little less awkward where you're just kind of sitting and staring at each other across the room. Uh,
Right.
that can be a little bit challenging for people who want to open up about some really difficult topics, but it's new to them and that's not always easy. So when we're in motion, it makes it so that we aren't super focused on the things that we're saying. And we're taking in a lot of that that's around us, including that nature, which just, again, naturally has that calming effect to us and just makes it easier for things to roll off. We find that people feel a little bit more comfortable and find it easier to talk about difficult things. And they're moving their body. They sit again all day, and it's
Yep.
just a great opportunity to get out and move their body. And so we're doing multiple things there that benefit them and helps with that self-regulation, mind and body connection. And that is what we're after. We're after teaching people how to find themselves, create authenticity, and you do that through mind-body connection, which allows you to feel. We need to feel because feeling is healing and feeling is intuition. It's insight to us.
I love all of that. So action step for all of our listeners, start going for walks outside. Maybe you combine it with eating a meal, go for a walk, see how you feel. If you're finding yourself sluggish in the afternoon, just step away from the computer, step away from whatever you're doing, go for a walk outside, take note of how you are feeling without distractions. That is something I took away from the last time that we chatted, and start incorporating this with your clients. I want to talk about another piece of this framework that you have included in the mental fit framework, which is hobbies.
Yes, hobbies. We don't have enough hobbies. We're too busy working.
Right. So one of the first things you told me was, Nicole, the gym cannot be your hobby. Even though you technically do not work inside of the gym every day, you are a gym owner. It cannot be your hobby. And I feel like I'm going to be breaking a lot of hearts to our listeners because they are in the similar boat that I was, and the gym cannot be your hobby.
Yeah, because here's the thing. What we don't want to create, and this is super fundamental to anything that we do, is we don't want to create an unhealthy relationship with any of these things. So when it's in excess, it becomes less of a tool for construction and more of a weapon for destruction. That's where we can perpetuate, these behaviors that become impulsive and, excessive. And that's where we kind of start sliding into more pathology and addiction. And so we want to create a good, healthy balance across the framework where we're doing a little bit of everything. Now, that's not to say that if you are a very active person, that your hobbies can't be something that is active, but the gym for many of us is something that we do for our exercise piece, which falls under that framework. And
Right.
if our hobby is in fact exercise, then we are just adding more stress to that overall cup. And what we want to do is create balance between our sympathetic and our parasympathetic states. And so it's really good to find some things that challenge our brain in a different way, because it's important to create new skills and new brain development. And we do that through trying new things and things that are challenging and hard. And that's really important for us and for our humanness and our growth.
I think for a lot of people, and you mentioned this a couple times already, we're overstimulated, we're overcommitted. And if you do not have a hobby or do not make time for your hobby, it is very tough to plug that into your schedule. So it's almost like blocking out time to make it happen so that you can take care of yourself. Because, you say it all the time, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah. And hobbies aren't supposed to be so stressful that you don't enjoy it, right? It's supposed to bring enjoyment. It's supposed to be challenging. And it's supposed to be something that you've never done, a new skill of some sort, or, a new sport. It's supposed to be an outlet.
All right, awesome. So that's a sneak peek inside some of the stuff that you go over in the mental fit course. I want to spend a couple minutes going through just what can people expect from this mental fit and mindset course? Who was it made for? Why should people take it? What's kind of the goal of this course?
So the course is designed specifically for gym owners and coaches. We've designed it that way because it's really towards that audience to help prepare and empower gym owners and coaches for what is going to be coming through their doors, and to help their clients to be as truly successful. And successful looks at both the mental and the physical aspects. One of the, biggest missed opportunities has been the implementation of psychological principles into our society and all that we do. And the gym is no different. And I think that, if we're able to incorporate that, not only will we prevent burnout for our gym owners and create their own personal awareness, mental and physical awareness, but then it allows this trickle down effect that we're looking for. We're now empowering our staff and training our professional coaches to behave in a way that is, indicative of our mission and our goals for what we're set out to do to help build healthy communities. And then that then translates into the community. So it starts at the top. It starts with you as the owner, and then you bring that leadership and that presence to your staff, and they bring that to the community, and it becomes a reflection of your business. So we really want to create that. And by doing this, we are impacting so many people all around. So we start with one or two, and then we impact many. And it's infectious. That positivity, that confidence, that empowerment is infectious. We don't want our clients, our gym members, to become dependent. We want them to become empowered so they take back control of their health and they create a healthy, fulfilling, happy life for themselves. That's the goal.
I love that. Starts at the top. Prioritize mental health for yourself, using all of the frameworks, or using all the tools that you're going to learn in this course, then trickle down to your staff, and then eventually to your members and the people that you're coaching one-on-one in a group setting. The way the course is set up is similar to all of the other Healthy Steps Nutrition courses. We worked quite closely on this. So there's online modules. There is a wrap-up mentoring call with yourself or one of the other people on your team, which is really based on application, right? How are you going to apply all of this to your facility and to yourself? And then there's one other piece, which is really cool, which is the group call framework. You have had an opportunity to do like group interaction, group engagement with like roundtables in events that we've done in the past. Most recently, the live event that we hosted at Healthy Steps Nutrition HQ. And the feedback from this was so overwhelmingly positive. People just understanding how to handle different scenarios and get equipped with the tools that they need to go into their communities confidently addressing mental health and just empowering their coaches. So there are going to be a few group calls, which is going to be really awesome. And then to take that a step further, you and I are doing some traveling over the next few months. We'll be headed out to the Fit Pro Growth Summit in Scottsdale in June 7th to the 9th. We're hosting the pre-con before that event, focusing on building professional and successful nutrition coaching programs. Also you're going to be talking about mental health for yourself and for your clients, which is what I know a lot of people are super excited about. And then you're going to be at the Gym Accelerator Summit, which is July 13th to the 15th in Nashville. HSN is hosting this event with Push Press. You're speaking, and then there's going to be an opportunity to connect with coffee. One of the mornings, there's a VIP dinner. There is the welcome reception. So much time to connect and ask questions and really get connected with other gym owners who are also leading the way and prioritizing mental health inside of their gyms.
Absolutely. I am so looking forward to it. It's my favorite thing is being in person and talking with people about this. And you're so right. Like this has come up. People have said, you're talking about things that no one's talking about, but have always wanted to know and just haven't been equipped. So that's really what this is about. And it's about spreading that good word and empowering people with the knowledge, because you don't know what you don't know, except for the fact that you see this, it's coming and you're either prepared for it or you're not. And so better to be prepared, because either way, mental health is here to stay. It's a part of who we are. It's, just fundamental to who we are as humans. And, we have to address it and we have to be prepared, because that's how we help people be their best selves. And I'm so excited. And you're right. It's gone so well so far with the people we have spoken with. And the thing I see the most with those people has been this sense of relief. It has been this feeling of like, wow, you get it. I'm not alone. And finally, there is some solutions. And I feel like I'm being heard, and I feel like I'm being helped, and I feel like I'm being equipped. And now I can take that back into my gym and really feel like I can be successful and help the people that I'm working with be successful. It's like that missing piece. So I'm super thrilled. And thanks again for the opportunity. And I can't wait for our tour.
Yeah, and then we're going to end up at the CrossFit Games. You're working on speaking on a panel in the affiliate lounge, and I'll be down on the floor speaking on a habits panel, I think. So all the things, super excited to be traveling around with you. So excited for the release of this mental fit and mindset course. This has been a missing piece of the puzzle in so many gyms. And now the cool thing is you can take it, use it for yourself, and then empower your staff, and then obviously the rest of your community. So Dr. Christina, thank you for all that you do. I'm so excited to continue this partnership in an even bigger way in the coming months.
Thank you for the opportunity, as always. It's awesome to work with you.
I hope you enjoyed that episode with Dr. Christina Migliara. It has been a pleasure working closely with her over the past couple years, and I'm so excited for the rest of the tour that we're doing with live events in 2023 and beyond. I hope this episode gave you some clarity on how you can prioritize some of the aspects of that mental fit framework for yourself, specifically around nature therapy and finding a hobby for yourself, getting your brain active, finding something that you enjoy. Hint, it can't be exercise. That's already a pillar of our mental fit framework. Nature therapy is something that we have been pushing really hard with our clients, getting them outside walking, specifically after meals. At Healthy Steps Nutrition HQ, we have a blood glucose monitoring program where clients can work directly with our registered dietitians to come up with a plan regarding blood glucose management and get a deeper understanding of what's going on the inside of their bodies. It is amazing the impact that even a 10-minute walk will have on lowering your blood sugar and helping you digest and absorb your food. One simple action step that you should be working on with your clients is going for that walk in the afternoon, after meals, after lunch, after dinner, even going for a family walk after you are done at the end of the day would be a great action step to work on with your clients if they're open to it. Nature therapy is such a vital part of helping us become our best selves and feeling mentally fit. Hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. For more information about the live events that Dr. Christina and I will be hosting and attending, we are doing a pre-con at the Fit Pro Growth Summit the first weekend or second weekend in June. And then July 13th to the 15th is the Gym Accelerator Summit. I am also traveling around to quite a few of the CrossFit affiliate summits. I am actually getting ready to get on a plane to the Kansas City one right now. So excited to be connecting with gym owners and coaches in person because there's something so powerful about getting people connected in person so that we all leave inspired and ready to make a greater impact in our communities. Well, hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. We'll see you back here next week. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and we'll see you soon.